Hello everyone and welcome to Chip and Chase, the NRL Fan Podcast. This is episode number 17. My name is Steve and this is Dave. Hey Dave.
Hi Steve, how are you mate? Looking forward to reviewing the previous round that just went by, and I believe it's international round this week and Origin coming up game 2.
That's right, rep round coming up. So this is, as I said, episode 17. We're going to review round 15 of the NRL season and then get into previewing the games for rep round, which, as you mentioned, involves game 2 of State of Origin, the 2022 series heading to Perth for the second game. Looking forward to talking about that. So let's get into the round that was. Unfortunately, it starts on a sour note for me. Probably why I've got this cold that I have currently I'm suffering with, because bloody the Rabbitohs absolutely killed my life with a shocking first half performance, losing to the Dragons 32-12. It was 32-0 at half time.
Yeah, crazy old game, mate. I didn't see this one coming. This was Andrew McCulloch's 300th game, which brings him to only the 44th man ever in rugby league history to get to 300 games. Mm-hmm. So congratulations to Andrew McCulloch. Look, man, it was a crazy start from Ilias to begin with, and I thought, that was a bad omen to what was going to happen in the game, because Dragons were to score 32 unanswered points after that drop ball. So, it just was a bad night out for the Rabbits. And, I mean, the Dragons really showed up, Steve. You give them credit. I mean, they really turned up to play. They got a bit lucky with some of the bounce of the balls, I think, and stuff, but they definitely looked like the more energetic side in that first half.
100%. I haven't seen South play that bad since the early 90s when they were really struggling, or even the early 2000s after they came back. But, they scored tries in the 4th, 11th, 14th, 18th, 23rd, 26th minute. It was just like just unrelenting early on. And Lomax only kicked 4 out of 6 conversions, and the Dragons also had a sin bin player in the sin bin late in the first half. That didn't help South at all. It wasn't until the 57th and then 61st minute that South got any points, and the 11,000 strong fans down there in Wynn Stadium at Wollongong would have been absolutely pinching themselves in that first half. That's unprecedented.
100%. You said the 2 late tries from the Rabbits in the second half there, and they were only through their New South Wales representatives, Cook and Murray.
Yep.
Poor little Cookie, mate, made over 50 tackles again. He doesn't stop tackling, this bloke, and I just thought, as you said the timing of the tries they scored in the first half there, it was just their first half was unstoppable, their offense. I think a couple of lucky bounces of the ball, as I said before, but Talatau Amone, I thought, had a strong game for the Dragons. And didn't Jack DeBellin, lining up in the number 10, have a strong game, Steve?
Yeah, he did. There wasn't really a bad player in the Dragons side. Souths were just woeful. There's a lot of talk about why the coach pulled Ilias off late in that first half. Brought him off onto the bench, sacked him for the game, really. He said it was because he wanted Taff on there, because Taff gives us energy. And obviously you're not going to pull Cody Walker from the field, being one of your star players, although he probably deserves to get benched. But
he could have pulled the fullback and put Taff on already.
Yeah, the thing is, Nicarima is a bit more experienced in that kind of situation.
For sure.
And so it was harsh, but probably fair. And it just remains to be seen how Ilias will bounce back from that. But I think the only positive from the South Sydney side of things was that they won the second half.
Maybe he should have moved Nicarima to 6 and put Taff at fullback and got when he took Ilias off. Maybe that would have been a better move for him, do you think?
Yeah, well, I mean, Nicarima did end up going into the halves, and Taff went to fullback. So, but anyway, South Sydney need to take a long, hard look at themselves if they're going to be a contender in 2022, because that's just not good enough.
No, weird effort from the Bunnies in that one. I thought Ben Hunt was really, really good in that game too. So, well done to the Drags.
Exactly. Then the next game up was the Friday night game at 4 Points Park in Brookvale. This was a cracker of a game. Manly were in control of this with, 7 minutes to go. It looked like it was all done and dusted, and that the Cowboys were, going to be, well played but bad luck kind of thing. And then Valentine Holmes just kicked into gear. The Cowboys just, went bang, 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 and thank you very much, 28-26.
I said it last week to you, Steve. Valentine Holmes just keeps getting better each game that goes on and on. He's starting to pick up some real good form in this year's competition. So, very dangerous player coming up to the last part of this competition. There was, Lachlan Croker was my standout.
Yeah, he was awesome.
He scored 2 tries, 44 tackles, and 1 try assist. So, well done to him. Sorry, I'm just a bit all over the shop here. And like you said, with 7 minutes to go, Manly were in front by 14 points. So what a comeback win there at the death by the Cowboys.
Yeah, Lachlan Croker looked like he was the man of the moment. Like, he'd done everything that was needed, scored those 2 late tries for Manly, had a try assist, and looked like he was going to be the hero for them. And then, we just saw there's Garrick going off a bit early, getting in the face of Valentine Holmes, thinking that they were all that, and it's not over till the fat lady sings, as they say. And the Cowboys just never gave up, showing that they are a definite contender in 2022. They're just not, they're winning hard games, not just the easy ones against easier teams. It's never easy to go to Brookvale and parochial crowd there. And, Cohen Hess got sin bin in the last minute of the game. That was trying to keep, to continue the clock ticking away without the Manly getting close. And Cherry Evans had an opportunity to get a 2-point field goal there at the death to try to go to Golden Point. Wasn't to be. Cowboys, really impressive effort. Happy that I got this tip. The only tip I didn't get right was the Dragons Rabbitohs tip this week.
Would you believe it? Me too.
Yeah.
That's the only one I got wrong this week.
I think that's pretty much everybody. I think that was you went for a weird one, I think. Was it the Bulldogs or something? No. I can't remember which game. But anyway, I think we both got 7 out of 8 this week.
I think, I think so. J.K. Townsend in the halves had a big game again for the Cowboys, so he's going really good. So, well done to the Cows.
Yeah, exactly. A really good game there by the Cowboys. One that they'll look back on as a classic for them this season. Then we look ahead to the next game, which was the other Friday night outing, which was the Storm up against the Broncos at Amy Park in Melbourne. 18,586 fans there. And this looked like it was going to be a pretty tight game early on. It was Storm scored, then the Broncos came back. And then, it looked like it was going to be to and fro. Corey Oates got a double that put them in the lead early on. But then, as the Storm like to do, they played for a full 80 minutes and ended up winning a nice 12-point buffer, 32-20, with the game locked up at 16-all at half-time.
Yes. Another great game here to watch. Top of the table clash here. And like you said, half-time, it was 16 apiece, and it was anyone's game starting the second half. So, really entertaining game. Look, Justin Oliver and Nick Meaney both ran for over 270 metres for the Storm, Steve. So, I think that's massive from them too. Harry Grant topped the tackles with 48 tackles. And for me, the standout was 4 players got a double that night. Dean Laramie, Jerome Hughes, Corey Oates, and Nick Meaney. I don't think I've seen that in one game. 4 players getting a double in one night. So that was something that caught my eye in that game.
Yeah, Aramea is coming along nicely for the Storm. He's
awesome.
He's a good player, and you could just see the Stars standing up, doing what they need to do for Melbourne, and Broncos not embarrassing themselves at any stretch of the imagination, doing really well. Giving their fans, showing their fans that they can go toe-to-toe with some of the best in the competition. So well done to the Broncos.
Yeah, and Nick Meaney, Steve, filling in for Pappenhausen there, I think he's been doing an absolutely awesome job. He's playing really strong for the Storm. So, yeah okay.
Well done to Melbourne getting another win on the board. Okay, then next up was the Sharks up against the Titans. This was played at Coffs Harbour in front of 9,000 fans there. A lot closer than I thought it would be. The Titans, again, going toe-to-toe with the Sharks. Sharks scored first, Titans, and then got another one. Then Titans got two back-to-back to make it 10-all at half-time. Really, I didn't think the Titans would be in it for that long, but once again, they showed that they can't play for a full 80 minutes against some of the better sides, and it was the Sharks winning 18-10 at the final bell.
Yeah, as you said, 10-all at half-time. So, up until half-time, this was, I was thinking maybe Titans might pull an upset win here, but just wasn't to be. It still finished close, 18-10, but I thought Matty Moylan played superb, and Will Kennedy.
He really wound. Moylan wound back the clock. Showed some. He's 31 now. He doesn't show his age, but
no, he looks so young still. Yeah, I know. He really found some good hands and some nice touches in that game for him. Nico Hydes has been a bit quiet for me, Steve. Thoughts on him?
I agree with you. He hasn't been doing anything wrong, but he hasn't been a standout like he was early on in the season. And he's, on the cusp of making the Origin side, being 18th man each time. But he hasn't really shown the early form that he had this season. But again, still pretty solid player. He's just probably being stepping back and letting some of the others shine through.
For sure. I just think he's been a little bit quiet. Brayley was a bit of a standout with one try and 44 tackles, topping the tackle count.
Well done. So, the Sharks doing enough there to beat the Titans. Impressive effort by them, and they continue on in their position on the ladder. Not really going up or down, but they're nevertheless still in contention.
Yeah.
Then next up was the Warriors, their final game at
Redcliffe.
Redcliffe, yep, exactly. Taking on the high-flying Panthers, and it was exactly what we thought it would be, a beat-up. The Panthers winning 40-6. The Warriors getting a consolation try in the 75th minute. But other than that, you went through it like pretty much. To'o got a double, but it's like Leota, Edwards, May, To'o, Yo, Martin all getting tries. And Cleary getting 5 conversions, with Stephen Crichton getting the last one, with Cleary being rested late in the game. It was 18-0 at half-time. You could only see it continuing on from there, with the Panthers continuing on their winning way.
Yeah, look, it was a bit slack. It was a bit of a shit going away present from Redcliffe from the Panthers, but I mean, what do we say about the Panthers, Steve?
Just class above.
They just, all class. They just work so hard. They're relentless for 80 minutes. They never stop. It was always just a case of Panthers by how much, I thought, in this one. Api Coruscant topped the tackles with 50 tackles. As you mentioned, Brian Toto got a double. And just the whole Panthers as a unit for me was a standout. Team absolutely in sync, knows each other, left, right and centre, back and forward. Obviously one of the favourites to maybe go back-to-back this year for the first time in a while, somebody.
Yep, so well done to the Panthers. Nice scrum play there for that try as well. Then the next game to look at was the Roosters up against the Eels.
Let's go, you mighty Eels!
This was a clash that a lot of people were looking forward to. This was the game of the round for me, other than the Cowboys-Manly one, which was a awesome ending. But this game, the Eels bouncing back from their diabolical loss to the Bulldogs, needed to put up a performance that was worthy of their status in this competition as one of the heavyweights. Sure. And no better team to do it against than the Roosters, who themselves are trying to establish what kind of a performance they're going to be putting on in 2022. Some great first half tries. I know you were a little bit disappointed with the way the Eels finished the second half, not really putting the Roosters away, but geez, you've got to be happy with some of the... I mean, I think there's a try of the year in this first half where it went through, like, I think it was 12 passes, 14 hands that the ball went through.
We
for
might
the
be able to
Eels.
see it coming up soon, I believe. But yeah, it was, for me, the try of the season so far by any team. It was just, they were playing for each other, they were playing together, and they're just a totally different outfit to last week, Steve. It really bothers me, though, you know what I mean, as a supporter.
Yeah.
It really bothers me how you can play so kind of bad one week and then so fluently the next week. But I believe Brad Arthur had made a call to give him a rest before this game. I don't know why he made that decision, but
I think it was before the
something
Bulldogs.
was definitely off.
I think it was before the Bulldogs game. They had 5 days off.
Before the Bulldogs, that's what I meant. Before the bad performance, he had decided to do that, and I don't think that was a good call at all by Brad Arthur. I mean, we're only halfway through a season, and I'm sure Craig Bellamy wouldn't be giving his players 5 days off at this time of the year, or Trent Robinson or Desi Hasler. You know, he said they deserved a couple of days off, but we're just in the heart of the season, and no time for a reward in my eyes at the moment for anybody.
Yeah, I guess he's had an issue managing the Eels' expectations at the end of the year. They've always seemed to fall flat at the crucial time of the year, so maybe he was trying to change something up in the middle of the year, give him a rest now so they didn't peak too early, but backfired against the Bulldogs. I think that was more of an attitude problem where Eels always get up for the bigger teams, and did so in this week. And you can always tell when they're playing well is when they're always pushing in support with one another, and so many offloads in this game. But the offloads came off the back of strong, hard running. This was a really awesome...
Takiaho.
Yeah.
That was a brilliant try by the big fella.
It was.
Good hole running, straight, hard running, beautiful. And I believe that try we were talking about, sorry to cut you off, Steve, is the next one.
Coming up, here it is.
Here it is, right
here. And the Eels got to 26-12 at the end of the first half. So didn't score a point in the second half. There was only one 4-pointer by the Roosters, by Suwali in the second half. So it was a real defensive effort in the second half. That was great hands by Dylan Walker. Sorry,
100%.
Dylan Brown there.
Sivo in the corner. Absolutely brilliant try. I haven't seen one like it this year. So pretty impressed with that. You did mention I was a bit disappointed in the second half, but we can't be too harsh on them. I think they've done enough to win it in the first half.
Yeah, that's the point.
And I thought the standout for the Eels was Sean Lane. He had a massive game. Gutherson and Madison were in everything, and Sivo was back to his
devastating
running best. For the Roosters, Manu, as usual, had a really good game. Suwali, and I just had Tupanua down for that brilliant try he scored as a standout for the Troops.
So. How good is Suwali? I mean, even a miss kick for him bounces and comes back into his hands.
Oh, mate, you know, he's only 19 years of age. I can't wait to see what sort of future he'll have in rugby league. And who knows, maybe South will snap him up, or the Eels later on in his career.
Well, he's a South Sydney junior, or he came through the South Sydney ranks. So, the Roosters pinching another one there. And then the Raiders up against the Knights. Excuse me. I was thoroughly surprised at the Knights here, taking it to Canberra really well. Their tries came late in the first half, then a couple in the second half. But 20-18 is a very close game considering the way that Raiders have been playing, and even worse, the way the Knights have been playing in recent times. I think their coach he nearly jumped out of the box. They were so close to winning this. But Canberra, at the death, Hudson Young, grub a kick for a forward to do that in the dying moments of the game. Grab the ball, score it pretty much under the post. Heartbreaking for the Knights fans.
For Knights, absolutely.
But what a thriller for the Raiders fans 100%. In front of their home crowd, at their home stadium there in GIO Stadium, 12,457 of them. It's just one of those another kind of knife in the back of Knights fans who just haven't had anything to cheer about this year.
There's only one thing more exciting than winning a game, and that's coming back and winning a game. I mean, that feeling doesn't come often. Usually, when you're in the lead, you win a game, and when you're losing, you lose the game. But when teams come back and win, it's top feeling for the supporters. Chris Randall topped the tackle count with 53 tackles. Knights, good comeback to lead 18-14 before you mentioned Hudson Young ripping their hearts out with that little chip and chase and scoring it. I thought Nick Chotrich, or whatever they want to call him,
that's how you got it.
I think he is just fit so well back in at the Raiders, and he's doing wonders for them out on the wing there. So, close game. Unlucky for the Knights, and good win to the Raiders.
I also want to pay tribute to Kalen Ponga. He was suffering with bad stomach issues in this game, was not well at all. I think it was some stomach bug. But battled through and was still one of their standouts. And even as a under strength kind of under strength situation for him, he still is head and shoulders above most of the other Knights players, so done
for sure.
to
God
him.
Bless him. Yeah, it's hard to come out when you're struggling and do it, and a true player can do that, so well done to Colin.
Yep, so that was the Raiders winning there against the Knights. And then the final game of the round was, as you called it, Spoon Bowl, and that was the Dogs up against the Tigers. And really, the Tigers just go from bad to worse, because even against the Bulldogs, who are equal with them on the ladder, they couldn't show anything. They had nothing to answer the Bulldogs, who were putting 6 tries with Averillo looking like a gun at fullback there.
Oh, goodness.
Jeremy Marshall-King had one of his better games. I really rate him. Little Jacob Carraz, the young fella there, awesome. Did really well. Burton getting 6 out of 6. Even with Vaughan in the sin bin in the late part of the game, it didn't mean anything. I mean, they were up 12-6 at half-time, the Dogs, but they just ran away with it in the second half and were unstoppable.
Yeah, look, this was a sure thing. I think this was a case of which team's going to struggle and which team's going to come out firing. Mm-hmm. And on the day, it was the Dogs. Dogs' attack was on song, Steve.
They're throwing it around.
They looked really good, mate. They're throwing it around. He's Alex Twal taking a head knock here, so he got taken off at that stage. Everyone was a bit worried about it. Hopefully he'll be okay.
Well, they said that he was okay in the sheds afterwards, but they're saying because he's had a couple of concussions this year and it's not the first, that he might not play again this season.
Wow. So, yeah, big blow for the young fella if that's to happen. Just the Dogs were all over him, mate. Like you said, Marshall King was outstanding. Burden was outstanding. Jacob Averillo was outstanding. And Kiraz, give that kid a few more games under his belt, and he's gonna be something good, I think. Tigers missed 40 tackles, Steve.
Wow.
So I mean,
and there's
what are you gonna do?
There's talk. It's probably been already confirmed by the time we release this that Brooks, for the first time in his 150-plus career, is going to be dropped. And he's had 5 coaches over that time that he's been 10 years or whatever he's been in the game, and he's never been dropped before. And I think with Dewey coming back into the team that week against the Bulldogs, that you have to pull the trigger and go Hastings at halfback, Dewey at 5'8", and see how things go, because Brooks has been given enough opportunities in my eyes.
Mate, I think the Dewey's going to be massive for him when he gets back.
Well, he's back already. He was back in this game, but I think being back at 5'8", I agree.
I mean, when he gets back to playing, warms up back into his game
season,
and that. But Brooks, I can't believe that stat. That in the whatever time he's been there and through 5 coaches, he's never been dropped a game. I mean, maybe it was a case of Steve. He was the only one out of the big 3 that stayed there, and the club thought they owed it to him. So, but I think it's a long time overdue. He's got a lot of pressure on him there at halfback, but he needs to take a look at himself, mate, and ask himself what he wants to do, if he's maybe better at hooker or something like that, because he just can't seem to. I personally think he would be an outstanding hooker, to be honest with you. So I don't know. He's got to find something. That's for sure.
Well, there's a bit of shake-up happening there at the Tigers. Obviously, Brett Kamali's putting a bit of a stamp on his time there as interim coach.
sayonara.
Yeah, that brings us to the ladder at this point of the season, round 15. Panthers sitting 4 points clear of Melbourne Storm. And then You've got, as I said, the Cowboys doing really well, sitting at third place. Sharks, as I mentioned, they're doing really well. I was surprised that they got pushed as far as they did this week. They're sitting on 20 points with the Broncos and the Eels. South somehow holding on to the top 8 position.
7th spot.
Yeah, and Dragons slip into the 8, pushing the Roosters out of the 8 for the first time in a long time. I can't remember the Roosters being out of the 8 for a couple of years now. And then...
Thank you, Dragons. No, I'm joking. The Roosters are okay.
Well, it's of the Eels beating the Roosters that they fell out, and the Dragons beating the Rabbitohs.
Yeah. Thanks to us.
And then, Manly and Canberra, they're on the same points with the Roosters. And then there's a gap to the Knights, the Dogs, the Tigers, the Warriors, and the Titans. Those bottom 4 teams all sitting on 8 points, just for and against the difference.
Quick question, Steve.
Yes.
In what do you think? Do you think the teams on 8 points are still any chance of making finals this year?
No,
they're not. So we can pretty much count them out.
Yeah, even Knights, you can put them out of the equation. So I think there's 11 teams that are fighting for 8th position in the running at the moment. I think you can put a red line between above the Knights and go Knights, Bulldogs, Tigers, Warriors, and Titans making up the numbers for this season.
Planning for Mad Monday.
Yeah, already. Yeah. So that's the ladder at this point in time. You mentioned at the top of the show that there are no NRL games this coming week because it is rep round. So let's go through just quickly what we do have to look forward to. And here is rep round. We have an under-19s game to start. It's a women's under-19s game to start rep round. It's a women's State of Origin under-19s. This will be played Thursday, June 23rd at Leichhardt Oval at 5:45 p.m. So looking forward to what's going to be a bumper weekend of games.
Sorry, and then, these are all Channel 9 games, Steve?
No, they'll all be Foxtel. Will be showing pretty much most of these. I don't know about the under-19s games, but the bulk of the games...
Competition, the round will be on Fox.
Actually, let's have a look quickly. The under-19s women's is, I don't think...
Televised.
No, it is televised, it says here. Channel 9, KO and Foxtel are televising it, so that's that one. Then then it's followed the same night by the under-19s men's game, State of Origin. So that's also being televised on 9 and KO and Foxtel, and that's also at Leichhardt Oval. And then on Friday, June 24th, we have the Ampol Women's State of Origin game, played at GIO Stadium in Canberra. This will be kicked off at 7:45. This is always an awesome game. They don't have a best of 3 series. They have a one-off game, and that is always a cracker. So looking forward to the women's State of Origin game on Friday. Then we have the internationals. We get the Kiwi Ferns up against the Tonga women's team. This will be played on Saturday, June 25th at 1:10 p.m. at Mount Smart Stadium. So over there in New Zealand, they're getting their footy back. So looking forward to these women's international games are always awesome. The Kiwi women know how to hit big time.
For sure.
And then the Kiwi, so that's the Kiwi Ferns up against Tonga. Then you have the New Zealand men taking on Tonga on Saturday, June 25th at 3:20 p.m. Also at Mount Smart Stadium. So that follows the women's game. Who are you going to be tipping in this one, Dave?
Mate, I've seen both teams and both real good teams.
Oh, you got guys like Sofa Solomona, Bromwich, Dylan Brown there from the Eels playing for New Zealand.
Yeah.
Jerome Hughes, Joseph Manu.
I'm going to have to go for the All Blacks in this one, mate.
Yeah, the New
Yeah,
Zealand
the Kiwis.
team. Yeah, Kiwis. I think so. I mean, Tonga are a great team as well.
Yep.
They've got Daniel Tupu, Talakai. Well, obviously that's Sasifa Talakai. I don't know if he'll be playing because he's for Origin. Yeah.
Yep.
Who else? Got Katoni Stags, Havili from the Rabbitohs, Keon Kalel Matangi. Yeah, big game.
Awesome game.
So that's the Kiwis up against Tonga. And then you have on the Saturday at 5:40 p.m. at Campbelltown Sports Stadium. I think they did themselves a disservice by not taking this to Combank Stadium. They would have got a bigger crowd, more atmosphere.
For sure.
But these have been played at Campbelltown Sports Stadium. As I said, Saturday, June 25th at 5:40 p.m. Samoa up against Cook Islands. Samoa. I'm going to go Samoa here.
Okay, let's go for the roughie here. Put me down for the Cook Islands.
Okay, mate. Yeah. Well, they've got I don't know. I haven't seen the team name yet, but Samoa got Milford, Norfoluma, Jackson Paulo. Not that I rate him that much for South. Jaden Sewer, Jazz Tavanga, Josh Schuster.
Who are those players?
Therefore,
I'm joking.
Yeah, right. I wonder if Bunty Afoa is playing for us. I have to have a look.
Yeah, and then, he's Samoan, right?
You might be, yeah. And then up after that, you've got PNG up against Fiji. So Papua New Guinea, 7:50 p.m. kickoff. This is at the Campbelltown Sports Stadium again on Saturday. Alex Johnson playing for Papua New Guinea. You've got Olam, David Mead, Lachlan Lamb, some pretty big names, and then you got a lot of PGN Hunters teams in there as well. And then Fiji, you got Kamakamika. Who else you got? Lemulemi, Tane Milne.
Sivo.
Yeah, Sivo. So you got some big names playing for the PNG side, for Fiji.
Justin Olam.
Yeah, who are you going for on this one? I think Fiji going to be hard.
You know what? Fiji always turn up, even though I think PNG might have a better squad here.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go for Fiji in this one.
I think so too. I think they've got a great squad. Yeah. Then the big one, Game 2, State of Origin. Cannot wait for this one. This is played over in Perth. This will be a cracker game. Played Sunday, June 26th at 7:50 p.m. Optus Stadium. Let's have a look at the squads because this is an interesting thing that obviously is going to be having some impact on what we think will happen. Just turn off the... where are my graphics here? So we've got James Tedesco at fullback, Brian To'o, Matt Burton comes in. I think that's a smart choice considering that we've got Jack Whiten out with COVID. Stephen Crichton comes into the centres, having previously been on the bench. They've dropped Katoni Stags.
Yep.
Fair or not fair, I don't know. And then you got Tupou, Loai and Cleary making up the backs. Payne Haas and Jake Trebojevic comes back into the team from Manly. I think he was a poor omission in Game 1. Should have been there from the start. Yep. Interestingly, the big one for Api Coruscant getting his start at hooker with Damien Cook coming off the bench. I understand the thought process behind this. Coruscant is a great defender for those first early, parts of the game. Maybe up to the half hour mark. He's got the combinations with Cleary and Luai, obviously, and he's a great player, I have no doubt. And then Cook comes off the bench when you get some tiring forwards and hopefully can kind of, make some runs from dummy half.
Mate, you just said it then, the kind of spine combo from the Panthers will all be in with choosing Api Coruscant to start. And don't forget, mate, you got that spine, and then you've still got Brian To'o there, Matt Burton, who played a long time with those boys, and Stephen Crichton. So
it's all Panthers.
This could be what we need. I'll tell you what, Steve, I'm very nervous for this one. This is Game 2, and it's away from home, and I mean this is do or die for the Blues. So
I'm really no safety there.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that this team can get it done for us. Looking at the Queensland team, it's pretty much the same. I believe there's only one or two
There were
changes,
two
correct?
changes because of forced through injury,
Yep.
with Murray Tawalangi coming into the team because of the injury to on the wing there, and I think the other one was Jai Arrow coming in on the interchange again through forced injury. But
Correct.
I'm surprised that two interchange players for the Blues coming in. Angus Crichton, I don't think deserves his
Me neither.
position on the bench
neither.
there. I don't know what RCG or Madison did wrong.
Done wrong.
Yeah, and Talakai, I can understand him. He's been playing well.
Yep.
He can pretty much cover a centre position, any forward position. He's big enough. He's played in both the forwards and in centre for the Sharks
Yep.
at the moment. So, I can understand the thought process there. But you just wonder, with 8 positional changes or changes in total for the Blues, did he get it wrong in game 1?
Yeah.
I mean, they only lost by 6 points and only just, could have been Yo scoring under the post there with a couple of extra centimetres. But is this panic, or is this,
Pretty drastic changes, yeah. I agree.
or is this the team that they needed, considering where they're going and what they're faced up against?
Yeah, look, looking at the team, I think I'm pretty happy with it. Again, Tupu wouldn't have been there for me. Fox would have always been there for me from the
Yeah.
beginning.
What does he have to do to
And-
get into the team?
Well, mate, I think he's just got to
Bide
he's
his
just got to
time.
play like he played against who'd they just beat? Sorry,
The Tigers,
Play
yeah.
like he played against the Tigers again next week.
Yeah.
And if Tupu doesn't have a good game 2, I reckon he'll come straight in the team. But yeah, other than that, and Angus Crichton, I thought RCG was hard done by, because I thought he actually had a really good game 1. It was really strong and tough for him. Madison, fair enough. I thought he struggled in his first game in Origin. So he should have been dropped, but I don't see what he's brought Crichton in for when he could have left that big body in RCG there too.
Well, I'm just looking at it. Obviously, Panthers are doing really well.
Yep.
Freddie played as a Panthers junior, came through, has ties with the Panthers, loves those boys. And then you look at the Roosters. Freddie played for the Roosters for a long time, coached them. Crichton's a Rooster. Victor Radley comes into the extended squad. Yeah. Why? He hasn't even played yet. And yet there are guys like, Chloe Matangi or that have been playing for South, or even Campbell Graham for South, who deserves another crack there. Just can't get a look in, but Freddie keeps his friends close.
Yeah, for sure, mate. That might have some doing in because you're right. It's pretty much Panthers team and Roosters team, but look, these players can either not get the job done, and we'll be saying he panicked. We don't know why you made all these drastic changes and this and that, or they win it and we say,
well done, Freddie, genius.
Well done, Freddie. Exactly. So only time will tell.
We'll know after Sunday evening. But tip for State of Origin?
Who else but the Blues, mate?
Got to go the Blues.
Got to get this one.
Got to go for a Game 3 decider.
100%.
I'm with you there. Although, I'm disappointed with some of the decisions, but still bleed blue. So let's hope they do well on Sunday evening. Yeah. That pretty much wraps up tonight's episode. Dave, anything you want to add before we finish?
Nothing at all, mate. Just looking forward to the international round and all the women's, the younger game and the women's games. I'm really looking forward to those two to see some of the talent in those games coming up. And obviously Sunday, mate, we'll be nervous as...
Yes.
I'm not going to say as what. I'll just be nervous.
So get out there and support some of the international games and the State of Origin junior games if you can. Get out to Campbelltown across the weekend. And if you're in Perth, enjoy the State of Origin game. But for now, this is our episode. Thank you for watching and being part of it. Looking forward to coming back next week. Hopefully feeling a little bit better health-wise so that we can wrap up the rep round and State of Origin game 2. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, guys. See you, Steve. See you next week, bro.
All right. Talk to you then. Thanks, everyone. Bye bye.